All right. What I would like to say here is that I do say that I'll drink beer in this video. It seems like I have since stopped drinking beer, which is partly because alcohol is clearly impacting the quality of my meditation, which is something I try to incorporate into every second of every day for the rest of my life. And at the same time, I have the nagging but persisting the nagging but persisting feeling, it's like double bind, that yeasts, every time I drink a beer or I eat a bread that contains yeasts spread through my body, multiplying and turning me into a yeast hive, taking over my mind and turning it into complete gibberish, rendering me unable to make sense any longer. And this can be clearly explained because if each of us is an individual and you see yeast as the workings of several yeast, kind of like animals, because I've tested this, that's just what I'd like to tell you. I have tested it, and ever since I started cleansing with anorganic sulfur again, which destroys yeasts in the body and give you back your mind, which then shall be empty, which then you'll find weird until you start to appreciate it and fill it with yourself again, because your mind has been taken over by what you may call energetic critters. And each of these yeasts that now lives in your body has like a voice. And that's how reality sounds like from a diseased mind. Right? That's the mind of the industry, by the way. I'm just saying. And that's all you gotta know before you watch this video, that, you know, henceforth, it shall be a meal without the beer. And without the alcohol, because alcohol clearly throws the spirit into some kind of downward spiral, which turns everything into a black hole and just throws away your life that you have been given by nature, which is the true hive for me, which is where I feel like we all belong, which is for what we need to earn the right to belong to once more. That's the Gaian mind Terence McKenna was talking about. And that is just an introduction to a video I've recorded previously, and which I would like to show you now. So, look at a simple meal. Just remember, beer is basically what feeds you the yeast and what the yeast wants. Just see it as an entity, right? If you're starting to cleanse, there's gonna be things that you'll find weird. Like really weird. You know, why can you not just stop eating sugar? It should be that simple, right? Well, now you know. Because there's things living in your body that want to have control over your mind because they come from a different dimension. Because I believe the yeast reality, right, is very different. The yeast itself has no interest to keep nature alive or something. It just wants to thrive. It wants to throw a ball. So it throws your spirit into an unconscious slumber and feeds on your light and casts you into shadow. And that's ignorance. That's living in ignorance. And it will literally take over your mind and make you blind. So take responsibility. Start doing this for yourself, for nature, for the people you know, for the childhood you never had. And start resisting the urge to eat products that contain yeast and sugar, including sugar. But I'll say that, right? I'm just gonna say, you know, if you'll have a day and you just wanna have some mayonnaise and you find it in a shop and there's sugar in it, I think that's okay. But it's better to make it yourself on the day where you're gonna eat it. And that's my message for cooking, right? If you want a clean mind, the energy that you ingest also needs to be clean, or you have to work twice as hard to transmute it. Because guess what? Heavy energy is still heavy and can only be lifted if you've got a strong mind and a strong body. And then your soul can really shine, and you can once again remember and feel what or how you really used to feel like before you betrayed nature with the industry and stopped screwing around. Yeah, that was a very long introduction. I'm just gonna do this, and then I'm gonna keep recording more stuff for my podcast. Okay, let's call this a pig me up. A pygmy puff. Pig me up. A pig me up, that's just a meal. I'm gonna eat this with beer. Check beer. I just came from a holiday, but please remember I'm a creator, right? I create things. Which means that when I come home, there's nobody to tell me what to do. The only thing that tells me what to do is my feeling. And now, I just came from a short trip, and now I need to pick myself up again. Because I need to keep going. I need to simply provide myself with unknown experiences,
but unknown experiences are also really intense. So now I have some nacho chips. I have some, okay, how do you call this? It's called a Rettich in German. R-E-T-T-I-C-H, which you may look up and then translate, and then you know the name. I'm gonna do the same, but now I will do this. So that's a knife. And now I have to think. I think I just want a really simple meal. In this, I will squash this with... Now I gotta see which one to take. Those are chilies. Yeah. I probably need better light in here at some point. But actually for this it's okay. Okay, so I do like spicy stuff. I also do like garlic. And one thing about storing garlic is about making sure that it lasts. And when you know that you bought garlic, you're in charge, which means then you have to take care of this. And that's what I believe. So I'm just gonna try to slice this. You know, it's really strange because I just went through something really intense. Just personally and also spiritually. And now I'm here and I somehow know how to center myself. I did my Vrishikasana. I set myself a plan to go hiking more often, like to really plan hikes, longer hikes, weekend trips and stuff. And that's gonna be a real challenge. But this has to be a lifelong thing that I can maintain. Which is weird, but that's just what it is, or seems to be. Okay, now you first slice it in slices, and then you make cubes out of it. You try to make them fine. So you take your time. Right, never play chess with a scorpion, not even in your mind, because that can really fire backwards. Okay. Oh, now you've got chili, now you've got garlic. I mean, it's a real challenge with all the otherworldly stuff happening in your life to just continue going with the normal things. It's about learning to communicate. And whatever seems scary may just be a really good challenge. So this, I don't know what this is. It's just some kind of feta cheese, some sort of feta cheese. I've had it before, you may have seen it. It's quite cheap. It's about, in dry weight, maybe a kilo or something. Does it say it? It's hard to say. No, dry weight is 800. So for 800 grams, it's about €4.15. I think that's a good value. Now I'm just gonna put this in here. And because I know myself, which is why I spend so much time with myself, to get to know myself, which is the message that's hidden in the Matrix movie, of course. It's nice to discover it, and it's a real struggle to implement it. And now, Reg, you may fail to notice why I'm squashing it with a fork, because now I put chili and garlic in there, and I want this to blend together into some kind of like spicy paste. A delicious spicy paste. And cooking is certainly a direction that you should discover for yourself. So whatever you do, you should pay attention and learn. It's not just about taking pictures, it's about really feeling them and then working with them. I would never release a raw image because it needs to be worked on. Because what I feel and perceive with my eyes, certainly not the same what other people may see and perceive. So if I take an image, it's being captured, and then it says, aha. But to really bring the message across and to make it a piece of art, you gotta work on it, which is why AI is useless junk. Not just to me, to the entire human race, whatever that's supposed to be, but anyone who can use a computer or a camera, right, or see sense in using it, can do so. And the more you work with the tools that you like to work with, the better you get at it. Okay, this is gonna be a good meal. It's simple, it's cheap, and it can be stored. Which means if I buy this cheese, I don't have to eat it immediately, but I saw this as my way through. And now this was almost going bad, so I took off the first 2 layers, rinsed it. I mean, this is the meal that got me out of bed, right? If I wouldn't have done this, I just needed a mission for the day. Because something else would have been too much. And so here I am doing this, eating chili because it, okay, this may be too much if I take all of it. So I also see now how much you really need. This is actually a bit bitter. I think it's chicorée. It's interesting. I really start to like bitter. Bitter is good, my friend. Friendly person I may or will probably most certainly never meet. I've heard of a book called Henry Sugar. No, something with Henry Sugar. It's also a movie apparently. I'd probably, yeah, sometimes you can just do both, right? You can read the book and watch the movie, but if you watch the movie, you should read the book. So if you've watched The Lord of the Rings, you should read The Lord of the Rings. I'm planning ahead. I'm working towards reading the Silmarillion. Because there's probably some nice stuff about Shelob in there. Which is a nice metaphor also for a woman. Because a woman, like a spider woman, whatever, is not just about being this vicious creature that we try to make out of it. It's also about, you know, she's also a caring mother. She also needs her offspring to live and prosper. And so it's nature's job to make sure that it's all in good balance. And so we do yoga. And so for me, the scorpion pose fends off threats from the outside. Because I do realize that voodoo does exist, as scary as this may sound, but it's simply the truth. Okay. Okay, now how am I going to put this together? I may either just, because I almost finished almost all of the package. Wow, we're heading towards summer, man. And I'm already dreading next winter. Okay, now this can go to the trash. I mean, it's not just that I only like this job, I also see it as a necessity to bring people normal things. But I also like to float off into space sometimes. I think I just like eating it like this, right? No, I can just put it on a plate, on a table. I just eat this, and then I eat this, and I dip it into this. And then I just chew, and you know, when it's chewed, I swallow. Some people, they forget the chewing. And I always tell them, you must chew your food properly. Like, really chew it properly. I mean, you know what I mean with this, right? I mean, you don't have to count, but there were times where I counted how much I chewed my food. And so I'm always the slowest eater. Because I sit there and I chew my food. And that's an important step. Right? And it's probably also part of becoming a man. To properly chew and digest your food. I can eat a lot if I want to. I can eat a lot. But you must chew your food properly, my friend. Because it's not just about being human and being able to eat. It's about doing so with grace and with dignity. And that clearly is what inspired the dignity of the unvaccinated. And so this is a really simple meal. Just for myself, it doesn't have to look like, I like it like this, right? You can see it, you can make it, it's simple, it's easy. And you can add whatever you want. You can add jalapenos, you can add like olives, you can take just whatever cheese you want. You can put these in the oven, you can put cheese on top, you can put it in the oven. That's like a good meal. Also for a movie night or something. So you can do all kinds of things and then just see where it gets you. And so stop making excuses and just work with your problems. Just work with yourself. Find solutions and then share it with the people that want to know about it. Which right now seems to be the internet, right? Everyone can take what they want, and that's basically all you can do right about now. Funk, so brother, check it out now.